Pedestrian safety. The city just did a plan called the Safe Streets Vision, and they approved it in August. And the Gray Panthers participated in the development of that plan. And actually, it was just submitted and won an award through the LA Architectural Department, the architectural design, one of the big architectural design groups. It won an award for the best street design. And it's being submitted to the state for a state award. And we submitted a letter of support for that. And we supported the Safe Streets Initiative in the development of it, and something called Vision Zero, which is to have no pedestrian deaths by the year 2020, and redesigning streets so that they're safe for all participants. And as I mentioned before, Long Beach has about 150 pedestrian injuries per year in the streets, and they occur mostly along certain corridors. Anaheim Street, Pacific Avenue, and the Studebaker Road Spring corridors. The number one cause of pedestrian deaths are cars speeding. So the Safe Streets and Vision Zero will be focused on activities that will slow traffic down and make it safer for pedestrians. And most pedestrian injuries or death, and I live on Pacific Avenue, and we've had 4 pedestrian deaths in the last 6 months on Pacific Avenue. And most of them are seniors trying to cross the street at mid-block and or at intersections where there are no lights. Some of the streets just have stop signs, and people don't always stop for the stop signs. So as pedestrians, we have to be very aware when we cross the street that we need to be especially vigilant. Another big issue is distracted drivers, people that are on their cell phones while they're driving and they're not paying attention to the street. So there are some strategies that we can utilize to reduce the potential for injuries. And the first one is to stop, cross only at the street corners, use lights, even if we have to walk a little further, and then to make sure that look at the car and the driver and make sure that they see you, because you having the crossing light isn't enough. Because if the driver's distracted, I mean, I've almost been hit several times because people weren't paying attention to the stoplight and almost ran the stoplight. So these are all dangerous situations, particularly for seniors. And we have worked with the city's traffic engineer to extend the time that lights stay positive for the pedestrians so that there is more time for seniors to cross the street. And if you have a street light in your area that needs that, I can help you get that done. The city signed on to something called the Livable Cities Initiative with the AARP. As that part of that program, they have a street audit. And I'm more than happy to connect you with the forms if you want to do a street audit in your area. And it kind of gives you an overview of what features should be in your area for safe pedestrian crossings. And one of the initiatives that my building wants is they want to have signs put in front of all the senior buildings, reminding that no skateboards, no scooters, no bicycling in front of senior buildings, because this is a big problem. We had somebody in my building that was in the hospital for 2 months because she was hit quite hard by a skateboarder who lost control, fell off his skateboard. So these things are threats. It requires a change in the ordinance, and the interns are helping. They wrote a letter to all the city council members explaining what the situation is. They created a survey to collect data from seniors as to what they felt were key issues. This and the street audit from AARP will help identify really some key things that we can do to make the streets safer. And the city has a plan to put bicycle lanes that connect all the way to the bicycle trails in LA, all along the river. So bicycle lanes are going to become a major form of transportation. And I've identified a grant through SCAG that I'm going to submit to try and get bicycles for senior buildings. I know my building is interested in having bicycles available to ride. Actually, they would be tricycles for the seniors, so we don't have to worry about the balance issue. So this would create safer transportation efforts for everybody. And with that,